Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out a brand new series, Dota Dragon's Blood. Now, admittedly, I knew absolutely nothing about this series. I saw the very first trailer that Netflix actually dropped, and I read some of the comments afterwards, and I think some persons mentioned this may be based on a video game. Not, I mean, it's not no longer a strange territory for Netflix since Castlevania. So I can only hope that they do a similarly good job here. I saw the trailer and it looked interesting. I mean, I think at the end of the day, what we really all want is a Berserk adaptation, a proper Berserk adaptation. And until we get that, will just take whatever we can get. And this looks pretty good. It struck me as sort of a combination between sort of Lord of the Rings meets Castlevania in an odd way. But the animation looks pretty on point. I saw some CG in the trailer. It didn't look terrible. It didn't pull me out of it. And I just don't particularly think that works for a lot of these shows that Netflix has been pumping out. I saw Dragon's Dogma, I think they released last year, and that was a CG cluster, and it was not good. And I'm hoping that it's nothing that's as far as the similarities go in terms of the CG usage, and the pacing and the story is a lot better here. But it's been something of a hit or miss for Netflix as far as those adaptations are. Blood of Zeus, I think, was maybe earlier this year. I liked it. It wasn't as good as Castlevania prior, and it's interesting that we're seeing a lot of these more Western adaptations coming through, where traditionally anime has been doing them. But I suppose, I mean, the market is there, and someone at Netflix is realizing that okay, we can do something with animation. And I mean, I don't dislike this CG animation all the time. The Dragon Prince on Netflix is one of my favorite things that they have released, and I absolutely love that series. But it's been hit or miss. They, aside from Dragon's Dogma, they tried to do Ghost in the Shell as well, which there are just certain properties that you just don't do CG animation with, because you're robbing the actual artists by not showing their it just devalues their work, because it's just cheapens their work to some extent. So things like Berserk, things like Ghost in the Shell, it cannot be CG animated. It has to be hand drawn. So I am hoping that the CG is used sparingly here, much like it is in maybe Attack on Titan. I'm not sure what studio is actually animating this particular series. And Attack on Titan has some misses as well, as far as consistency with using the CG monsters. But it's not terrible. It's not terrible. So this looked, from the trailer, it looked pretty good. So I have some hopes for it. After the previous disappointments, I'm hoping that this will not be one of them. But I love the animated series that focus on medieval period magic, dragons. You cannot go wrong there with the fantasy, with an all-out fantasy element. Completely embrace it. Give us a lot of magic, and you will have me. That's that I love. So I'm definitely looking forward to this, and hopefully I won't be disappointed. So Dota, Dragon's Blood, let's check it out.
In the beginning, there was only the primordial mind.
Has to be a narrator with a very gruff voice.
Of creation.
Actually, starts pretty similar to the Dragon Prince.
The radiant and the dire,
Explaining the different sources of magic in the world.
Lord over creation with irreconcilable ferocity.
Alright, so I'm gonna need to find out a bit more about the lore of Dota. This is a lot to take in.
In Foulfell, the demon Terrorblade gazed released into the
Doesn't get more
chaos.
badass than that when your name has the word blade in it.
Thought and action. Remake creation in his own infernal image.
Alright, Terrorblade. Yeah, I'm wondering whether it's the same studio that did Castlevania. There are some elements of it that are vaguely familiar. I like it. Alright, he's rushing in head first, so you know he's the protagonist. Oh, blade broke. Alright, so he's taking on a dragon by himself. So is he human, or is he just like, you know, something like maybe a witcher that's imbued with something else? What are you doing? Even has a sidekick like Geralt does. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so it looks like there's some sort of mercenaries that the army hired to slay the dragon. Like a witcher. Oh, cool. I would not go under there. I don't think you can survive, you know, a collapse. Ah. Right, there's no way this guy is human. He's taking direct hits from the dragon. Okay, so that's what the thing was for. Damn. Think you got it, man. What I'm curious to know though is, he couldn't pierce the dragon's skin the first time he tried to cut him. So why is it working now?
Dead.
Hatchlings, pups, wee babies.
Bite your face off, boyo.
The entire nest.
Yeah, he's a dandelion for sure. To what?
Bram.
Damn. I would not go down there if I were you.
Lovely. Now is our chance. Now.
Yeah, go on. You're on your own here.
No.
Have fun.
Now we pray he doesn't wake up.
This is the guy that was hiding behind the mound while one guy was fighting the dragon.
Your father.
The Fallen.
was a
Yes, sir.
He was a brave son of a bitch. Here. I want you to have this. Dragon Fang. When you're ready, take yours to Dragonhold. They'll know what it means.
Alright, Dragon Knights, Dragonhold, he's giving him a Dragon Fang. Sensing a theme here, so that's some sort of how they recruit kids and train them to fight dragons, something sort of.
There, alone in the darkness, he slew the beast.
Definitely a dandelion moment.
I played a critical role. He's been there 100 times if I were there.
100 times?
100 times at least.
At least.
Another round.
Excuse me?
Mysterious young woman.
Forgive me. I'm in my cups. I didn't see you.
2 crowns.
It's
smells terrible. And it's warm.
It's beer. It's all we got.
Yeah, ew. I hate beer.
Pay for her ice rack white.
Oh, that case they're free.
If I order, it's 2 crowns.
Well, he did just
Order,
save the
it pays
village
nothing.
from a
Well, yeah.
dragon,
it's
so.
Daddy on the fucking dragon like what killed the
Understandable. Why is this man so obsessed with the big one?
Listen up, idiot.
Go and get it yourself.
Kill an eldworm. Nor 10, nor 20. It would be stupid to try.
Okay. A protagonist who actually
Right off, I was
thinks
talking to the
and doesn't just rush in headstrong
Ah,
to solve his problems with force.
It's supposed to be warm.
A human tavern.
Barely.
Okay. He's a human, so is he an elf?
Menes, lotuses. The usurpers, lotuses.
I don't really care. I care only to make them mine now.
I don't have your lotuses. What I do have is a name. Travel to the black market in Hauptstadt.
So if you could find him, why didn't you just go and find him and get it?
I do have other items of value.
Oh, sorry, not interested. Human women are pleasantly soft, but too easy to come by.
Ah, my future ex-wife. And my other future ex-wife,
Okay.
huh?
Never come down from the throne to address a peasant.
Ah, so they're royalty. Uh-oh.
Elf. Filthy spawn of tree rot. Long-eared murderous animal.
Surely if he came here, he's skilled a warrior, I hope.
Enough talk. I'll handle this animal myself.
Best way to save him without causing too much trouble or having the people turn against him.
Now, while you can.
Nikto, in Hauptstadt, princess.
Prince?
I'm surprised everyone didn't go outside to watch them fight. Now, what's her deal, though? She's royalty, but she seems to have no issue, making deals with elves while the other humans appear to hate them.
I'm not afraid of you. Not afraid. Not afraid. Everyone laughs at you, Captain.
Shut up.
You're the joke of the village. Slay that beast,
He was gonna use him to wake it.
and no one ever has to know your secret terror.
Well, someone had a good night.
Did you want another go?
No, not really. I just...
You don't know my name, do you? It's alright. I know yours. That
She doesn't seem to care.
Ma'am? It's Captain Froling. He's gone to the foothills.
Moron, brainless, arrogant.
He means to kill the Eldworm.
Oh, okay.
Sharp and
Thought he would have had to travel there somehow.
And they'll both be mine.
Spell. Perfect. More magic, the better. I mean, if it was this easy for, you know, terribly to possess someone, surely he could have done it ages ago.
We do the gods' work here. The rat was old, sick, yet even
You managed to kill it?
powers at their height could not have saved him. Not from me.
7 hells.
If you had the power,
So what's his...
take it? The little
Why kill it? Why does he want to kill the dragon?
as his father burned alive.
I was just a child.
See you, trapped in your own hell of regret.
You know nothing.
I know this much. Together, we can slay dragons.
Don't do it.
Lyran, father of fire, the thunder speaks and chooses you to give it voice.
A lot of dragons down here.
Fortunate, I have no taste for man flesh today.
I get the hell out of there. It's not my fight. How did the other dragon lose then? If that's all it took. Okay. It's now possessing the dragon's body. Dragon on dragon. Got him.
Smell your fear.
Gonna try to help him.
Only my hate.
Alright, pierce him. Oh, he's dying.
I couldn't just let him. Sleep dragon.
Okay, so he doesn't hate all dragons, just the bad ones, I guess?
Peace, little.
That killed his father, I suppose.
You know the death I want.
As you honor me.
Hey, what? Why?
Forgive me, little
Is this a dragon's dogma type thing, and he's gonna make him the dragon or a dragon eventually?
Fine. Get him up, but put a cloak on him for decency's
I like her.
sake. You will not be happy when you awaken Davian the Dragon Knight. But you'll live.
All right, Dota, Dragon's Blood. I mean, I'm intrigued. It's very interesting. Some of the story beats are very, very familiar. We've seen them in different forms, one way or another before. The ending there, gave me a lot of vibes from Dragon's Dogma, as I mentioned. I don't know if they're related because the stories seem very, very familiar. Um, yeah, in Dragon's Dogma, he does eventually slay the dragon, and he becomes the dragon, that he's hated so much. So I do wonder whether something similar happens here. I suspect it is because of what the dragon says at the very end here. To forgive him because of what he's going to have to endure later on. So I suspect their blood, maybe he used some magic to pass his essence on to Davion, and yes, eventually he will become or be able to become dragon. I don't know if he'll be all the time, but that puts him in a predicament because he's supposed to be a dragon knight who supposedly slays dragons. So that'll be an interesting story. So a lot of beats again that we've seen before. It also gave me a lot of similarities to the Witcher story. Especially with his traveling companion there, who just reminds me a whole lot of Dandelion. So a lot of similarities, a lot of names to make note of. I'm just curious as to first off, we saw him facing off against a dragon, not as powerful as the Earthworm that we saw at the very end, but he was doing that alone. So are the Dragon Knights imbued with some sort of protection, magic, mutation like the Witchers that allows them to fight dragons in that way? Because he's only human, and the army that was there wasn't doing so well, but he was doing fairly well against the dragon by himself. So I'm just curious, what exactly happens when they become dragon knights, or is he just a hunter, or is he? We saw his companion use magic to transport himself back to their wherever they are from, or where they were taught. What did he say it was called? Dragon Keep, Dragon Helm, Dragon something. But he used magic to get back there, so I do wonder whether Davian himself is no normal human. So I'm curious about that. I do want to know though. Terrorblade, I think is the one that's been possessed the captain there. I don't know what his objective is. He seems to want to kill the dragons. So he wanted to align himself with Davian because we all hate the dragons. We don't know why he does. And I mean, it seems rather easy for him to kill the first one, whose name starts with a U that I can't pronounce. For him to kill the first dragon, using a human's body, but he was immediately the human. The captain's body was immediately. The captain immediately lost to the other dragon who came in after a single attack. It just seemed unusual. So I mean, in terms of the power scaling, I guess I just trying to understand how exactly all of that works. If he could possess dragons, I mean, this can't be the first dragon to die. I mean, maybe he's been doing it for a while, and this is just the one that he happened upon. Once he can find a human who's willing to let him in, which in this world I imagine there are quite a bit of them. I mean, we just saw them in the village with several people who were mourning the loss of their loved ones who died on the battlefield, even the young boy. So there are a lot of people that could easily be possessed. So what made this case special? For him to for him to possess the captain versus just anyone else, or was there some requirement? He said he knew the captain's secrets, and he uses that to lure people in, to lower their guard. He mentioned something about impotence. I don't know if that was the captain's secret. That's a hell of a thing to let yourself be possessed by, for, but interesting. And we saw it even give the young boy a dragon fang, and told him eventually to go to dragon wherever he's from, and they'll know what it means. So I wonder whether that is how they recruit persons, not the same as The Witcher, but in similar fashion. Um, and so the Dragoness will pass on the fang to those they deem worthy, for them to go and get training and become Dragoness themselves, and the cycle continues and continues. So, yeah. So I mean, there are a lot of, as I mentioned, there's magic, a lot of magic in this, which I absolutely love, and that you don't see a whole lot in a lot of animated series. I was one of my, I wouldn't say gripe, but in Castlevania, there's some magic, but I guess it was maybe around season one was short, so I can forgive it there. There wasn't a whole lot of magic initially, but the more they embraced it, the more I loved it. But because of budgetary reasons, you didn't see a lot of that action until the very last few episodes in each season. But surprisingly, here for this series, the animation actually looks pretty damn good. Usually it doesn't for the earlier seasons because Netflix maybe doesn't have faith in the series initially. So as the seasons go on, they'll put more budget into it and it looks better. But this first episode looks damn great. It reminds me of the very first 4 episodes of Castlevania. And then after that, they started lowering the quality for the first few episodes. Hopefully that doesn't happen here. The CG didn't bother me a whole lot. So it was used sparingly just for the dragons, I think. So that's great. So a lot of things that I like, and a lot of familiar story beats that we have seen before. But there are some interesting ways that they could actually take it with Terrorblade. So I'm curious to see how that story plays out, which will make it noticeably different from anything that we've actually seen before. So again, I'm new to Dota. I know nothing about it, so I don't know whether I should read upon anything that may spoil the season for me. So I may just I want to familiarize myself with the world, but I don't want to run into any spoilers, for the season as well. So let me have to just avoid that. But nonetheless, enjoyed this first episode very much. I'm looking forward to the rest. So be sure to post down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one.